in. Give them about a minute or so. Good morning. Good morning. We're going to let some folks join us as they keep joining in. We're going to give about a minute or so. Today, we have a special guest. I'm so excited to have her speak. I have known her now for what? 8 years?
7 years?
8
Yeah.
years. Yeah, 7, 8 years. Yeah, a long time. We've been working together. And so this is going to be a treat for everyone. She is a fabulous businesswoman. She's super duper smart when it comes to Alzheimer's and dementia and navigating the process for seniors moving into senior living, not only locally, but nationwide. And she has been a partner of mine for many years. And I'm actually blessed to call her one of my friends too. So we are going to just give everyone about 1 minute or so to get in and get started. So welcome as you're joining. Everyone's kind of trickling in right now. Got about a minute and then we're going to get started. And we are recording. Perfect. Welcome, welcome as you're joining. All right. Good morning. Good morning. It's Felicia Saracino. I am one of your PAC coaches here in Southwest Florida. And today we have a very special guest that I'm excited to have with us today. Her name is Cynthia Perthuis, and she is with Senior Care Authority. It's a placement agency here. We're lucky enough to have her here in Southwest Florida, but she does things all over the U.S. She's also had a franchise before in New York City. I have known her for about 8 years now, and she has moved in hundreds of seniors into senior living, and we have worked together now for many, many years. And I am so blessed to have you here today. Thank you, Cynthia, for coming.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to turn my picture off. And Felicia, I want you to text me if there's a problem. I have terrible internet service where I live right now. So I've tried to do everything I can do, but we're going to see how we can make this happen. Let's see. Let me get the screen all up here. I will say that I want to make sure that I also tell you that I know that Felicia introduced me as being owning a placement agency, and we do so much more than placement. And that's what's important for me to make sure that you are aware of, is what else we do besides placement. Because our job is just to work with seniors and make sure that anything that they need, that we are able to help them. And that may mean staying at home. It may mean moving somewhere, but our job is to help them out. So let's see, let me get this shared here. Share screen. Make sure this is right.
Perfect.
Very good. Okay, here we are. I want to talk with you about how Senior Care Authority can help your client. I know that your job, if you stay in your lane and don't practice medicine without a license, your job is to sell your real estate. And what our goal is to help you sell that real estate as fast as we can make it, as fast as we can get that turned over. And a lot of times when you get in with a client, they are concerned about selling their home. They're concerned about getting their closets cleaned out. And we're here to help you with that. So let me tell you what we do. We bring expertise and resources to help support these families as they go through all the different things that they're going through with us, with you, and with other people who might come into this team that we're all going to be working with. We're not just a placement agency. I spoke about that a little bit in the beginning. We call ourselves elder care strategists. We work through every step of the strategy required to help our client and their family. And we have supported over 100,000 families in the past 10 years. So while my group focuses on local, we also work all over the country. A lot of times we find our business when the adult child calls us and says, we've got some problems with mom and we need to figure out what to do. And then we sit down with them and we help them find an attorney. We help them find a realtor. We help them find a move manager. We have identified 31 different types of people who might need to be involved in this process with this family. So here's how we do that. We help with community living, and community living would be assisted living, independent living, memory care, skilled nursing. And the fees for that are paid by the communities. They pay us a fee to bring them a qualified person, to bring them someone who's not only qualified financially, but qualified medically into their community, and to cut short the whole process of looking at communities. I get calls a lot of times from people who say, oh, I'm so glad I found you. We've looked at 15 different communities. And we looked at place A and we looked at place B. And I'm thinking, well, place A charges $2 million to get into place A, and place B charges $4,000 a month. There's something that's not right. There's something that doesn't match between these two communities. Our job is to get there with them and get there early so that they are not spending a lot of time trying to figure out where to go and how to go. It's also within our best interest to help our communities with this, because they're not feeding a bunch of people lunch who are never going to move in. It's like you're taking someone around to see homes that maybe list at 3 million, but you're also showing them homes that list at 300,000. It's a waste of time to show one or the other. And so our job is to take out that waste of time, waste of energy, waste of heartache. We hold family dynamic mediation sessions. As I'm sure you see in your business, you've got a lot of people. You have a lot of second, third, fourth, fifth wives, fifth husbands who are involved with this, and their families. You have children, stepchildren, half children. You have all of these different people who want to put their hands into the mix of what's going to happen. This is their last time to sell this property. They'll never have another property out of their family to sell. So they want to make sure they're getting the most. It's the last time they're going to move their parent into an assisted living. They want to make sure that it is perfect. We help these families build consensus. They never agree. We want to help them build consensus so that they can make this move and get things happening. We go on tours with them. We schedule it. We do price negotiations. And we also build a spin down model for the family. Again, our goal is to move the family before they sell their home so that you can go in and do your staging, do the clean out, and get that home sold without the family still being involved there. They've kind of given it up at that point. We help them understand the similarities, the differences, and we also, again, refer and recommend outside services. Now, if they decide to stay at home, which may not be the best thing for you, but maybe they've determined it's the best thing for them, about 50% of our clients come through and decide they want to stay at home. About 50% of those come back to us within 6 months and say, I've made a mistake. I've changed my mind. I want to move. We stay in very close with them during that process and we help them. However, we charge a fee for that. Again, we hold these mediation sessions. We will interview and schedule their potential caregivers. We will talk to them again about outside services that they need, and we help them with the spin down model. And we want to make sure we're still in touch with them and very close with them, because again, 50% of those people that stay home come to us to move. We also are patient advocates. Again, the family pays this fee for us. So we provide what we call peace of mind visits. A lot of times we have a client who they may live in Minneapolis, but their kids live in New York City. They may live in Naples, Florida, and their kids live in Chicago. We can be what we call dial-a-daughter, and we work with people all over the country who do this service, and we work as a broker for them to help people go in and just make sure that everything's going okay for their loved one. We offer a service called Beyond Driving with Dignity. And again, all of these things that I'm talking to you about, we offer all over the country. We help families determine and help their loved one determine if they should be driving or not. We help them do a self-assessment. We don't get in the car with them, but we want to talk with the senior or the older person about their driving loves and likes and why they think they need to be driving and ways we can help them solve some issues they may have if they aren't driving. And we provide a written report for the family and the doctor, but we leave it up to that senior to say, you know, I shouldn't be driving. And what we find is that 2/3 of the people that we do this business with determine that they shouldn't be driving. They self-assess that they shouldn't. And the third of those that don't come to that conclusion traditionally have a form of dementia. And they're never going to say, I shouldn't be driving, because they don't have the cognitive capabilities to make that decision. Now, what we do for you all, and what we do also for the community, is we do continuing education for social workers and nurses. We do national presentations for to a number of organizations and for a number of organizations. I sit on the board of the Alzheimer's Association. I'm very passionate about that organization. And so I do a lot of fundraising. We do fundraising for other organizations that are in this space. We do presentations to employee groups within national corporations. So we have done work with AT&T, with Moody's, JP Morgan Chase. We have a whole long list of people that we do these presentations to. That puts us in front of the adult children more than it puts us in front of our actual end client. We also have a lot of channel partner relationships, for example, with public employee union groups, with religious organizations, with physicians groups, where they are our partners and we are their sole provider for this type of work. And we have a number of referral partners, such as yourselves, that we refer back and forth with these referral partners. These are the core services that we do, and I've talked with you about these already, but just so you can see, we call it our wheel of care, and these are the things we talked about. This piece right here, core services, in the orange, but these are other things that we help people with and other ways that we serve them. So our goal, again, in working with you all, is to make sure that you are able to focus on your on what it is that really makes you the money. And what we find when we talk with realtor groups is we have realtors who will say, oh my gosh, I love this space. I love this business. I have been with my client. I took them to see 5 different assisted living places, and we had lunch at all of them. Well, I'm going to tell you that that's about 10 hours, 15 hours of your time that could have been used getting other listings, doing showings, other ways to get your business growing that doesn't include doing placements. So I just want to make sure that you have my information. I'm going to unshare here. I keep going to another page. I want to make sure that you have my information. I know that Felicia is going to send out some information to you afterwards. And I'd love to answer any questions you might have about this part of the business.
Good morning. My name is Frankie Thomas. I missed probably the first couple minutes, but your company, you assist nationwide?
Yes, we assist nationwide.
Okay. I met a young lady, well, she's a senior. I met her yesterday, and her home is being renovated, and she's been living in a hotel, I think she said about a year. She's interested in a senior community here in Westerville. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and there's a huge wait list. So she was asking me if I could help her, and I'm actually contacting her today, if I could help her find, because she wants to sell her home, because she wants to live in senior living. So if I can, I would love to schedule a call with you between today and tomorrow to possibly see if you could help me and her to find a community here in Columbus.
I can help you. And I'll tell you what would be probably, again, I come from New York, so I'm all about doing things in the least amount of time as possible so that we can do other things.
Yes.
It'd be really good if if you could set up a meeting with her, and we can be on a speakerphone, and you can watch how I work with her and listen to her questions and you can see what it is that we do and how we do it. And it'll help you for the next one. Would that be a possibility?
That would absolutely be awesome. Her name is Gwen Stinton, and I'm scheduled to call her today. So
Okay.
I'll ask her, and well, actually not ask her, but I'll schedule with her so that we can all meet together. And then if you could just provide your information, I would love to get this going because she's been in that hotel for over a year, and
Mhm.
she's ready to go.
Sure. Yep. I can help you with that. So what I'll do is I will get your information from Felicia and I'll send you an email that has all my contact information. And I'll give you some times that I'm available this week so that we can maybe get something set up.
That will be awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's great. And so the question I have, Cynthia, I might know the answer. I might be off on timing, but on average, how many hours does it take for you to place a senior into senior living?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, to be honest with you, sometimes I work on minimum wage. I have a client right now that I started working with in September. I went on 5 tours with her, and each of those tours take an hour. And so if you count that you're going in and out for transportation, there's 15 hours right there just for her tours. Before that, I spoke with her twice in her home to understand her. There's 2 hours plus travel time. I've also spoken to all 3 of her daughters separately and together, probably another 3 or 4 hours. And that started in October. And I worked with her, and the family decided to move her from one coast to the other coast. So at the end of that time, I hadn't been paid for any of the work that I had done for her because she didn't move. They had already found a place on the other coast, unbeknownst to me. And so we weren't able to be paid. However, a week ago, she'd been there for 2 weeks on the other coast, and they decided to move her back to the original coast. So now I have spent 10 hours this week arranging for her to get from one coast to the other back to her original coast and get her moved. And she'll be moving in on Monday. And we have hired a person who will be what we call her peace of mind person to meet her at the airport, to get her to now the family will pay for this service, to get her from the airport to the community and to be with her for the first 3 days in the community so that it's a little bit easier transition for her. So right there, we're looking at 30 or 40 hours spent.
Yeah.
And her home is just now going on the market because they couldn't, the family couldn't make the decision. So even the realtor that I worked with on this project, she said, both of us are going to go and we're going to take our commission. We're going to Starbucks because we think that's about all we're going to either one. And I'm going to buy her a Starbucks and she's going to buy me a Starbucks. So sometimes that's the length of time it can take. I had a client who called me the other day and he said, I don't know if you remember me, but I called you in November of 21. And of course, I am a CRM guru fiend, and I am in my car. I pull over, I pull him up, and I say, oh, yes, I do. How is your puppy dog? And so he was thrilled that I, quote unquote, remembered him. But it had been 4 years since we had spoken, and now he's ready to move. So these things are not, we all wish they were overnight. Now, that doesn't mean that I haven't moved people overnight. But that's because they usually have fallen and hurt themselves. Until somebody is hurt or has a chronic disease, it's difficult. But we work really hard to get them on the right page.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who may not know me, I have a senior living background. When I left senior living, I worked with Cynthia and was doing placement, and it took between 30 or 40 hours of work to get these folks moved into. Now, what Cynthia was talking about when she had fast move-ins, that's like crisis mode, right? That typically comes because there's a need and they need to move right now. But the one thing that, I'm doing real estate, 100% of my time right now, I partner with Cynthia and her team because it behooves me to keep finding more seniors that need this service rather than me trying to do all of the real estate aspect that we do with moving our seniors into senior living, because this is like a gradual step process. But when you layer on that added extra piece of finding the community and making sure that you're helping them find and tour places. The one thing that realtors don't have, which I believe, Cynthia, you do have, is you have additional insurance, because if you have to take them in your car, you have the ability to be covered in case of an emergency or an accident.
Well, there's a couple of things I want to point out here. We have insurance that also covers us for, let me just give you an example. You have a client who the mother moves in and she unfortunately passes away. And maybe it's not a good passing. So for example, maybe something happened in the community where she was living and she dies. And the family decides to sue the community. And and this is a real story, in the process of suing the community, the attorney says, well, how did you even figure out to go to this community? And they said, well, we used a placement agency. And they then sued the placement agency. So we have insurance that covers that. We also have training around the verbiage that you should be using in our business so that you don't get caught in it. But another story I have is I have a good friend who is a realtor. And I talked with him a long time on the pickleball court about making sure he used me for placement. And he chose to do it himself because he got paid $500 if he placed someone. And he thought that that was a good additional sum of money. And he also thought that it would be good to stay close to his client. I would see him multiple times in the community. Oh, and I'd say, what are you doing here? I have to change your curtains. She doesn't like the curtains. What are you doing in the community? Oh, she needed to have her TV fixed. So I came to fix her TV. He spent hours with this client. And at the end, he came to me and he said it was not worth the $500 that I made. And now he refers to me.
Hands down. Yep, hands down. And that is something that we all have to be very mindful of. I know I am with my team and my business because I have been working in a building as an ED and as a sales director, and I know exactly what goes on in these communities, and I know exactly how bad and nasty it can turn if someone is not happy or they feel that negligence has happened. So it's great to have someone who you can partner with that can take on that liability piece for you, because your E&O insurance is not going to cover you. This is not normal real estate tasks that we would have. So that's why it's so important, as many of you who are on our call right now, just taking a look through, you are setting up your board of directors, your bod, and you all should have at least one placement senior navigation partner on there to help you with your clients. I know I do, and it saves me a boatload of time. And when Cynthia was saying that you made minimum wage, I remember one time I worked so many hours because I wanted to please my client. And when I was done, I made $9 an hour. We're not in the business to make $9 an hour, folks. We are in the business to hopefully, 10 plus 20 times that on an hourly rate. And also, when you are working with a professional like this, you are getting, just like when you work with me, that insider information, that in-track information for senior living, for all of these aspects. The peace of mind program that Cynthia and her team do is priceless. I remember in a time where you helped someone at a community and she didn't have a bathing suit and wanted to go swimming. And you went to Nordstrom Rack and brought her a bathing suit and brought it in. That's part of her services that she helps with. Now, how many of you would like to be called for that as a realtor? I don't think very many of us would. So it's nice to be able to have partners like this to bounce back off of. So what other questions does the group have today for Cynthia? We have about 5 minutes or so. Don't be shy.
Well, I am here and I appreciate you all giving me the time. And again, I just threw it at you. I usually do a presentation like this. It takes me about an hour. So let's see if I got it all in the nutshell for you, but feel free to give me a call. And again, Felicia will pass my information on to you and you can call me anytime or text me on my
Yes.
mobile.
Yes. And Cynthia also does the certified dementia practitioner training too, which is very helpful. I know we had set that up before and had to postpone it a little bit, but if any of you are interested in that or want more information, just leave something in the chat so that we'll make sure to get that information. And so we will make sure to pass that along as well to see if we could set up another training on that. Learning this process and understanding the different types of dementias is a big sticking point for me because our seniors, as we all know, can take an unexpected turn. And I'll tell you all this one. You've all heard my story about my senior who could not remember her name on day of contract signing. So that's where a POA has to be brought in. The other was just this past week, we had a buyer who moved here from the West Coast and unfortunately is a husband and wife. The husband had a heart attack and passed away. These are things that when you're working with an older population happen. So, you know, having a team around us to help us through these difficult processes really help to make our jobs easier because at the end of the day, we want to have not 5 transactions a year, we want 40 transactions in a year. And so this helps to speed that up for you so that you can keep working with the seniors and fueling your passion right now. So I was just checking a couple of the chats, seeing if there's anything in there. Nope, we got that covered. Does anyone have any thoughts, would like to share what they thought about today's event? Y'all quiet today. I'm not used to this. Heather, did you find this very informative?
I did. We only had 5 minutes left, but I have all types of questions that I wanted to ask her. So I will definitely be reaching out to her to connect directly. I think that this is super useful, and especially for me because I feel like I'm kind of like you, Felicia. I try to be like everything. So having insight and bringing this to us, like, thank you, because this totally alleviated a lot of stuff that I'm trying to do on my own. So thank you again.
Perfect. Well, do you want to just get one of your questions out of the way?
Yeah, so I guess I'll just keep it kind of general. When working with something like, you know, with a company like this, are you able, I mean, I know you said you're able to provide services nationwide, but I know that we don't have anything like that here locally in Indiana. We've got, you know, placement services and things like that, but I think what we're missing is that personal touch that you offered. So how would we go about either getting connected with you or seeing about getting this started in our area?
Sure. So if you connect with me, I have a broad network and right now I can think of somebody who's in Indiana. We've done a lot of work, amazingly, we've done a lot of work in Indiana and we work together with some boots on the ground person who's there. But we also do a lot of work. As bad as COVID was, it helped a lot of people get onto Zoom. I do a lot of this counseling and working with people, advocating for them through Zoom, and it works amazing. So it saves everybody a lot of time as well. But just give me a call and we can talk about exactly what you're looking for in Indiana and where you are in Indiana, and I can help you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Miss Cynthia.
You're welcome.
And Miss Cynthia, can you share your number here in the chat or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I'm going to give you my mobile number and feel free to call me or text me on that number anytime. If I am asleep or if I am busy, I won't answer it. So just don't worry about saying, oh, I don't want to bother her now because I'm in a different time zone. Just send it to me anytime.
No worries. Thank you.
Well, again, I want to thank Cynthia for joining us this morning. She's a wealth of information, and this is something that is so important to all of us as we are growing our businesses, as you are learning to work in the senior niche. Maybe you're brand new. Maybe you've been in the senior niche sector for a year or 2 years. Understanding who your team members are, who your team members should be, is something that is vital to the growth of your business, no matter what type of market we're in. We all are most likely in a slower market right now. So this is the perfect time to start exploring these options and getting these partners on your bod. But as we grow and real estate is cyclical, just like senior living. You have your ups and you have your downs. And right now we are going to be trajecting to going on our hope is to go on an uphill pattern as interest rates hopefully drop down and the economy is pointing in the right direction for us. So it's nice to get that all established now, get your ducks in a row, so to say, so that when it is busy season, you can take off running without tripping or falling. So this is vital to everything. So thank you, Cynthia, so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And we don't have
Perfect.
to recreate the wheel.
Exactly.
No. That is the most important thing. So thank you all for joining today. The replay will be up in a little bit. Just give us a little bit of time to get that recording up. And then we will make sure that everyone is looped in for info. So thank you again, Cynthia. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All
Thank
right, everyone,
you.
have a great time.